Hey guys, it's Ryan with AIinsidertips.com, and in this video, I'm going to be providing 5 prompting tips that you guys can use inside ChatGPT, Claude, Google Gemini, or any other large language model to improve your outputs when you're providing inputs. Now, before I dive into this video in greater detail, I first want to let you know about my free guide on the best AI side hustles in 2024 and beyond. I've personally used some of these AI side hustles to generate more than $5,000 a month in passive income online, and you can get this free guide by clicking the link in the video description or pinned comment below. So I'm going to come back to ChatGPT 4. You'll see here I am on the premium version of ChatGPT. And guys, one thing that I see all the time when people ask me with help for prompting or prompts in any AI tool is they never are prompting these tools correctly. It's either too thin, it's too much, they're not being specific enough, and there's going to be some tips in this video that I want to share that will help you in your prompting. So I put together this spreadsheet here, and again, you can pause this, copy and paste this, do whatever you want with this. But I have some tips over here. These are my 5 tips, and I have examples for each one that I'm going to share in this video. And at the end, there's a perfect prompt formula that I actually got from a fellow creator in the AI space on YouTube that I want to share with you. So make sure you stick around towards the end of this video for that perfect prompt formula in action. So guys, prompting tip number 1 is to establish a persona. Now, what exactly do I mean by establishing a persona? Well, I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about here. So the example that I'm going to use is the following. I need you to be an expert in local SEO and Google My Business. And I'm going to hit enter just from that one little sentence. And so here you're going to get a search or a response that should read somewhat towards the following. I can certainly help with information and advice on local SEO and Google My Business, yada, yada, yada. What do you need assistance with? So the importance of doing this is you are now telling ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or whatever language model that you are using, I need you to be an expert in insert topic. So now, whenever I ask it questions or seek advice for something, it knows from the beginning that, yes, I am an expert in this. So in this case, I'm asking it to be an expert in local SEO and Google My Business. So if I come back here, now I'm going to prompt it with the following. Awesome. Now that you are a local SEO expert, help me optimize my Google My Business profile for my marketing agency based in Tampa, Florida. And again, you would replace this for whatever your use case is. I'm going to hit enter. And then you should see a response that looks like this as well, where it's giving you all sorts of helpful information using its training data as an expert in local SEO and Google My Business. I believe GPT-4 goes up to late 2023, if I remember correctly. So a lot of best practices should still be in the training data for ChatGPT, the GPT-4 language model. So here it's giving me all sorts of advice. It says complete your profile information, optimize your business description, choose the right categories. So you could literally follow this step by step as a how-to guide for optimizing your Google My Business profile and simply just work through each one of these. Now, how to make this even better is, let's say you don't even know where to start on a business description. So what I could do then is just copy this, and then I would just say the following. Craft a compelling business description that includes keywords relevant to, and then you would add those keywords here, relevant to digital marketing and your location. So what I would do here is I would say digital marketing and Tampa, Florida. Keep it natural and engaging. So I literally just copy and pasted the advice that it gave me, and now it's going in here and crafting a business description based on the prompt that I just gave it. It says, welcome to your agency name. So it'd be whatever my agency is, Tampa's premier digital marketing agency, yada, yada, yada. You guys get the point, and you could copy and paste this into your Google My Business profile, tweak it however you see fit. But I hope you guys are understanding the value of that first prompting tip to establish a persona. So prompting tip number 2 is to explain your intent. Now, what do I mean by explaining your intent? So in the example that I'm going to provide, as I open up ChatGPT in a new chat, explain Bitcoin in a way that's understandable for high schoolers and only use 300 words in total. So instead of just saying explain Bitcoin and it would come out as this, confusing, throw out all these terms that may not be understandable, I explain the intent here by saying understandable for high schoolers. So now it's telling the machine to make the output understandable at a high school level. And you can also add a word cap if you want. I just think that's better for this example. And it says Bitcoin is like digital money that exists online, unlike dollars or euros. It doesn't have physical bills or coins. So that is very understandable at a high school level. Sure, there's going to be some sophistication. It talks about the blockchain, public ledger, digital wallet. But this all depends on whatever type of prompt or whatever type of topic that you're asking it to explain. The quick example that I just wanted to show is adding this understandable for high schoolers as making it more intentful for the output that you want it to produce. So that is prompting tip number 2, is to explain your intent. So prompting tip number 3 is to be specific. Yes, that sounds very basic, but I can't tell you how many times I've seen people do thin prompts or just ask me for help with prompts, and they're not specific at all, and they expect this excellent response from ChatGPT or whatever LLM they're using. So what do I mean by this? So I'm going to copy and paste this prompt that I have here. I'm going to open a new chat, and here is the prompt that I mean by being more specific. I'm a beginner in the gym and I'm trying to find a good lifting program for beginners. Can you provide a simple step-by-step, easy-to-follow weightlifting program? Write it as a step-by-step list. So by doing it this way, you're being a lot more specific on what you're looking for versus just saying, provide me with a weightlifting program, or I need help lifting weights, please help me. Those are the type of thin prompts that I often see beginners do all the time. And so you're adding more specifics here by saying you're a beginner, you're trying to find a good program for beginners, and also saying write it as a step-by-step list, adding that more specific detail to that. So here's a beginner's weightlifting program. It has warm-up, workout routine, day 1, 3, 5, full body. So it's giving me all sorts of good workouts for beginners that I'm probably going to use myself, guys, to be honest. Cool down, and even provide some additional tips here as well. So that is prompting tip number 3 in a nutshell, is to just be more specific in your prompts. I can't reiterate that enough on how many times I see people just writing really thin prompts and expecting detailed responses. It just won't happen. So the fourth tip I have for improving your prompts, and not only ChatGPT, but these other AI models, is to improve your output formatting. Now, this is similar to the third tip that I provided, which is being specific, but I wanted to include this as a separate tip, as a lot of times people don't understand that you can ask for a specific output. So in this example, I'm going to ask, can you provide a bullet point list of all states in America? Now, this is a very simple prompt. I understand that, but I'm just trying to show you what I mean by asking for an output type. So as you'll see here, it provided a bullet point list of every state in America like I asked it. And if I come back, what's popular among ChatGPT and Claude and other models is I see people generating tables all the time. So you can even generate tables. So if I open up a new chat, I'm going to say, create me a table with one column being state and the other being a list of big cities in that respective state. Include all 50 states in the United States. So as you'll see here, it's analyzing. So I'm just going to wait a little bit and then fast forward once this output is complete. All right, so here you'll see it generated that table for me, and you'll see it only included about 5 states, as I didn't really realize how sophisticated of a prompt this was. Well, according to ChatGPT, it says, creating a comprehensive table is quite detailed. Let me organize this information. Please be aware that it will take some time for me to compile. So that is another example, guys. I just wanted to show you quickly how you could generate a table by being specific for that output formatting. That is tip number 4, is to ask for output formatting, whatever you prefer. So moving on to the 5th prompting tip is to ask for follow-up questions. Now, basically all this means is if the response wasn't what you expected or what you needed for more information, all you need to do is ask follow-up questions for a better output, to clarify, ask ChatGPT if it understands what you're asking it. This can also apply to images too, not just basic text prompts. So let's go back to this example, and a perfect, follow-up prompt for this would be, okay, great. Now include other states such as Florida, Iowa, and New York. And with this follow-up question, it should increase that table now to add those 3 states. So that is the importance of asking those follow-up questions. Is oftentimes ChatGPT and these other LLMs are not going to get it right on the first try, and so you need to follow it up with more specific information. So it says here, I've added the big cities for Florida, Iowa, and New York to this table. And again, you could even follow it up for more and say, okay, great. Now do the remaining states. And then you can enter that. And this is going to take a little time, so I'm just going to fast forward after this prompt is complete. All right, and as you'll see here, it is now correctly doing what I asked. It is including all other states in this table. It looks like it stopped here. It needs more time, but you guys get the gist of this. I think the prompt that I used in this example was too complicated for ChatGPT to output it in a table like I hoped it would. But you guys get the gist of it. Basically just asking follow-up questions to improve future outputs. So that is tip number 5, is to ask follow-up questions. So those are the 5 prompting tips to improve your outputs in ChatGPT. It's establish a persona, explaining your intent, being specific, asking for the output formatting, and also asking follow-up questions. By using these 5 prompting tips, you will get better outputs in ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or whatever AI model that you guys are using. So now let's fast forward to what I mentioned at the beginning of this video, is the perfect prompt formula. So there is a creator that I follow in this space, Skill Leap AI. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. He has really good tutorials on AI, and I use him for a lot of ideas that I have for future videos. So he's got a great channel. Make sure you guys check that out. But he had one video here about 10 months ago where he talks about the perfect ChatGPT prompt formula. And here is what he explained. It's context plus specific information plus intent plus response format equals the perfect prompt. So what does this look like in reality? Well, here is an example that he uses. I'm a software developer working on a Python project. Can you explain how to implement exception handling in Python? Write it in a simple paragraph or list. Now, guys, I am not a developer, but this is the example that he used, and I created an example from above that is the following. I'm a beginner in the gym. I'm trying to find a good weightlifting program for beginners so I can build muscle. Can you provide an easy and simple weightlifting program? Write it as a step-by-step list. So let's walk through each of these parts of the perfect prompt. So step 1 is the context. So the context here is that I am a beginner in the gym. And I'm actually going to paste this over to ChatGPT so you can see this in a better format. So I'm a beginner in the gym. That is the context. I am trying to find a good lifting program for beginners. That is the specific information. So I can build muscle. That is the intent or goal. Can you provide a simple and easy to follow weightlifting program? Write it as a step-by-step list. Now that is the response format. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all of these placeholders. I just wanted to explain that while I was reading through this prompt so it made more sense to you guys. But when I delete all of these different placeholders and hit enter, this is why this prompt formula is so powerful. It's going to basically understand your intent at the very beginning, so it knows what tone, it knows how sophisticated to come up with in the response, and then it knows what you're trying to do. So it says, I'm trying to find a good lifting program for beginners, and then you're also providing that goal. Can you provide an easy to follow program? Write it as a step-by-step list. So you're giving it that output. So a lot of these same tips are what I just explained in those 5 prompting tips. And you'll see here, this is the output that I get. This is a very high quality output in my opinion. And the reason this is a quality output is because of the type of prompt that I gave it. So again, to get the best outputs, you need to give it quality inputs. So I like how it lists out beginner weightlifting program. It has a workout structure. Here's a bullet list of the workout structure, workout A, workout B, and then it even adds some additional notes that you could use this if you were a beginner and wanting to get a beginner-friendly weightlifting program. So that's it, guys. I'm going to leave an example not only of this prompt, but also that prompt formula in the video description below so you guys can copy and paste this and use it for yourself and whatever your specific use cases are. So the last point that I want to mention in this video is that OpenAI and Anthropic actually have a library full of prompts that can help you. So OpenAI has a prompt engineering guide that includes all sorts of tips and tricks for prompting. I created a full video on this when it was first released. I'll leave a link to that in the description below if you guys are curious to take a look. So there's not only all these different tactics and helpful info in here, but they also have prompt examples. So regardless of what type of prompt that you're trying to do, whether it's a spreadsheet creator, explain code, summarize for a second grader, it has all sorts of helpful prompt tips that will give you a head start versus just not knowing what to do and hoping for the best. So let's just say, for example, if you wanted to summarize for a second grader, you click that option and it provides you with an example. So you could simply copy this, summarize content you were provided with for a second grade student, and then you would copy and paste this. And here's just the example that it has here. So the same thing with Anthropic. Now, Anthropic is the company that owns and operates the Claude LLM. So if you're using Claude, they have their own prompt library that you can use here too. Website Wizard, the Helper, Mood Colorizer, Dream Interpreter, Storytelling Sidekick, Cosmic Keystrokes, Time Travel Consultant, SQL Sorcerer. There's just all sorts of stuff here. So if you're using Claude, I would definitely use this prompt library provided by Anthropic. And again, same situation here. You would click into it. It'll give you the contents of the system and the user, and you can simply just copy and paste whatever the examples here that they are providing. So I'll be sure to leave a link to this Anthropic prompt library and also this OpenAI prompt examples in the video description below. But that's it, guys. Again, this is Ryan with AI Insider Tips. I appreciate you watching this video. Be sure to like this video if you found value and you're going to start using these prompting tips to help your outputs in ChatGPT. Or if you didn't like this video, give me a dislike, and also be sure to let me know in the comments below, are there certain prompting tips that I missed? Are there prompting, tactics that you guys use to get the best outputs? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, as I like learning from you guys as you have experience in these tools as well. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel at AI Insider Tips if you haven't already. I truly appreciate all of the support, and I hope you all have a great day.